I can't tell if Sheila Jackson Lee is a psychopath playing an idiot or an idiot playing a psychopath.
He was sentenced to 25 years. He served 11 to 16 years. I don't know, I can't remember the exact number. But in actuality, his weapons might have been used to kill Americans. He has not killed Americans. I'm not saying he's not a nasty, bad guy, but I will tell you that I believe that Americans should know that the sovereignty of their nation will always be behind them and they'll never be forgotten.
I don't know about you, but it sounded to me like she just said, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Let's listen to that one more time and see if my ears were deceiving me. But before we do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, then tap that bell symbol and hit the all button. Because if you don't, YouTube won't notify you when I release a new video. So now let's watch this video one more time.
But in actuality, his weapons might have been used to kill Americans. He has not killed Americans.
Yeah, she definitely said that shit. But I'm confused because this is the same Sheila Jackson Lee who wants to sue gun manufacturers anytime someone uses their gun to commit a crime. This is the same Sheila Jackson Lee who hasn't met a gun control law she doesn't like. The same Sheila Jackson Lee who thinks we should be banning AR-15 simply because they weigh as much as 10 boxes.
I've held an AR-15 in my hand. I wish I had it. It is as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving.
But now she's defending the release of a literal illegal arms dealer, and not just any arms dealer, one of, if not the most prolific arms dealer on the planet. Second only to maybe, I don't know, Obama and his Attorney General, Eric Holder? Oh, you didn't know about that one, did ya? Here's a little video to fill you in.
Fast and Furious began almost 3 years ago. The secret law enforcement program allowed criminals to buy guns so government agents could trace them to Mexican drug cartels. But blowback came, and it was tragic. The government lost track of hundreds of guns, which started showing up at crime scenes, including the site where U.S. border agent Brian Terry was murdered in December 2010. Initially, the Justice Department told Congress that they did not allow guns to flow into Mexico, but that was false, and months later they took it back.
We freed an illegal arms dealer who they call the Merchant of Death and whose guns were actually used to kill American citizens, and the same woman who for years has screamed nonsensically about her gun control laws and how they'll stop illegal gun trafficking is now on national television defending the release of the most prolific gun trafficker. This is insanity. But you know what? It actually really isn't insanity. This is plain and simply the state of politics in America right now, where your Second Amendment rights go to the highest bidder. You can listen to Sheila Jackson Lee talk about guns, and you can tell she has no earthly idea what she's talking about.
And the bullet that is utilized, a 50 caliber, these kinds of bullets, need to be licensed and do not need to be on the streets.
She doesn't care. She only does what the billionaire-backed anti-gun lobby tell her to say. And she can't even do that right most of the time. She's not anti-gun. She's anti the American people having a gun, which is why she can flip-flop so fluidly on her position about guns the way she did in the video. Sheila Jackson Lee is a wokey-woke leftist politician who has to toe the party line no matter what. This is why she's engaging in this phenomenally terrible display of mental gymnastics to justify the release of the Merchant of Death, because not supporting a black LGBTQ WNBA player who knowingly brought a substance that is illegal in Russia into Russia would draw the ire of all of the other wokey-woke leftists in her party. So gun control only matters when it's about controlling the guns in the hands of American citizens. Outside of that, they can change their position on the issue and flippity flip-flop all flippantly as they so please, as long as they have control over you. But who am I fooling? It doesn't matter how many times she contradicts herself and demonstrates a brazen level of hypocrisy. People will keep voting for her due to their blind allegiance to their party of choice, and she'll keep bamboozling them to give up their rights under the Second Amendment. But if you're not one of these blind loyalists being bamboozled by politicians who push gun control because they want power and control, I have the perfect hat and shirt for you, the Defund Gun Control design. You see, Sheila Jackson Lee has tried to pass gun laws that would require a forced gun buyback, i.e. a gun confiscation and/or a gun registration. Many people think it will cost them nothing to implement this, but on the contrary, gun control measures like these cost the American people money. It will be expensive, especially considering the vast majority of these measures will do nothing to stop gun violence. A national gun buyback program would, on the low end, cost the American people $3.2 billion, and on the high end, $16 billion. To register each one of your guns under the National Firearms Act will cost the American people $200 per gun. And right now, the ATF is trying to pass a new rule that would require everyone with a brace on their gun to register those guns too under the National Firearms Act. The American people should not be forced to pay to have their guns confiscated and their rights restricted. The Defund Gun Control design is a slogan that supports divesting funds from useless gun control laws and preventing new gun control laws that will simply tax the American people for laws that infringe on our Second Amendment rights and fail to make the American people safe. So, after you subscribe to the channel and push all the bell symbol buttons that I told you about earlier, head on over to shop.mrcolionnoir.com and grab your Defund Gun Control merch today. And don't forget to share, like, and leave a comment on this video. Oh, and one more thing. If you want to be up to date with all of the special deals and giveaways and stuff like that I do on my channel, also go ahead and sign up for my email list and my text thread as well. Because, yeah, you don't want to miss out on some of the stuff that's going on there. So, there'll be a link in the description section for the email list and the text thread. Go ahead and sign up for that too.